Well, I'm sorry to say, Sports Jabber fans, but this is the last show. This is it. This is our last show. We are not professionals, and we are a bunch of idiots. Oh my god.
Okay. Not sure where we're really going with
Yeah,
that.
I was talking about the guy, because we got a fan.
Oh.
We got a number one fan.
Yeah, so apparently our comments about Derek Carr last week, not deserving the being paid the highest quarterback ever, rubbed someone in particular the wrong way.
Yeah, somebody got hurt by it.
Are we sure it's not actually Derek Carr?
What if it is, though?
Or maybe his brother David.
Oh, he's an analyst now, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Or someone related to him.
So I have two issues with this guy that just bashed us. He called us idiots for one. You're the stupid idiot if you're a troller. You don't obviously have a life. Secondly, he said, what has Rodgers done lately? So is he saying Rodgers isn't as good as Derek Carr, or...
Well, in his words, Derek Carr's had 2 good seasons.
So he deserves the contract?
Yes. So, and we never admitted to be highly intelligent people.
Yeah,
so
he'd listen to NFL players over us. I hope so. We haven't had an ounce of professionalism in our lives. So I hope you wouldn't listen to us over NFL players. If you did, you're probably a Browns fan secretly.
Yeah. All we were doing is giving our opinion. I mean, I still don't think he deserves it. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback.
He's on the rise.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback on the rise. Maybe one day he will, deserve it. But I mean, if you're looking at it right now, no, I personally don't think he deserves to be the highest paid quarterback. And that's my opinion on it. You can differ from it. I'm sure a lot of people do. Oh well, I don't care.
I will laugh at this guy if Derek Carr has an awful year this year. I will leave the comment up if he does, so I can comment to him. What happened?
Yeah, no, he should have. I'm expecting him to have a good year. Like I said, he has enough talent around him to do so. So, but yeah, I mean, on 2 good years, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs yet. Let's give him some time. I mean, like I said, we're not saying he's a bad quarterback. We're just not saying he's worthy of being the highest paid ever.
Be sure to leave us more comments on our comment box by the next episode, big guy.
Yeah, if you disagree with us, all right, cool. There's a lot of people out there that do.
I mean, I prefer Krispy Kreme over Dunkin' Donuts. I prefer rainbows over polka dots on wallpaper.
Okay. Rainbows over polka dots on wallpaper. Sure, why not?
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, John. Take us in.
All right. Well, we got the baseball All-Star game right around the corner here, so that just got us thinking, about get all these great players together. Just got us thinking, what are some of the in baseball? What are the greatest players by position? Like we had to come up with the ultimate All-Star team. Who would be in each position?
I was actually excited for this because I actually had to do research. I was excited.
I did very little research.
Yeah, you're a lucky person. Yeah.
Just kind of, went off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So, to start off with, first position catcher. I went Yogi Berra.
Mm-hmm.
I was going between Yogi Berra and Johnny Bench, but to me, Yogi Berra takes the cake. I mean, 18-time All-Star, won the World Series 10 different times. 200 batting average, 351 home runs. I mean, he kind of defined the position as, an offensive, offensively before anyone else did. So he kind of set the bar there. And, then his crazy comments, too, helped him out. It has nothing to do with him, as a player, but it's just fun to listen to him talk.
And Johnny Bench.
Bench? So he was second, so, I mean...
I thought it was cool he had 10 Grand Slams as a catcher.
So he was, he'd be my backup. He'd be my backup catcher. And then you got first base. Who did you go with for first base?
Lou Gehrig.
I went there as well.
See, I like doing the research because I learned a lot about these players, and I thought it was interesting. We had, most seasons with 120-plus RBIs.
Yeah, and he was the original Iron Man before Cal Ripken came along. And, heck, he has a disease named after him.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, won the Triple Crown. Like I said, he was Iron Man. MVP a couple times, won 6 World Series, 340 batting average, 493 home runs, and who knows what he could have done had he, not had the disease. I mean, he could have played for even longer and had even better stats. But obviously his career got cut short, made the famous luckiest guy in the world speech, and
Yeah. Another fun fact: he was the first athlete to appear on the box of Wheaties.
did not know that.
Thought that was a fun stat in there.
That is a fun fact. You
Wheaties.
can, take that to a bar and, try to win some bets.
Well, that'd be good.
I know, right?
We'll talk after this.
All right, so second base. Who do you got there?
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between Jackie Robertson and Rogers Hornsby. Jackie, it's hard to go against him. Because his time in the actual major leagues was, short. Because obviously, before he became in the majors, African Americans weren't allowed to be in the major league. So obviously, broke the color barrier. Then when he was in the league, he was 6-time MVP or 6-time All-Star, won MVP, won the Rookie of the Year. He had great stats for the period he was in. Like I said, otherwise, the other one I was thinking of was Rogers Hornsby, which is way back in the day. He had a 358 batting average, 301 home runs, 2-time MVP, won the Triple Crown 2 times. So it's a toss-up between the two. I think I'd probably lean towards Jackie. And he had the speed too, so he can steal bases, and so I'd probably go with Jackie Robinson in that position as well.
So I picked him at second because he kind of paved the way for what he did pave the way for African Americans to play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the movie 42. Haven't seen that great movie. Gives you a perspective of what Jackie had to go through. And he has a day honored by him too by the major league. So just
and he's the only player with his number retired by every team. The number 42 will never be worn again.
I mean, just in a black sentimental value, I had to put him in.
Makes sense.
I liked him too, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a hard person not to like.
Yeah. I mean,
what he did when he came in, what he had to put up with.
Yeah.
Was, obviously none of us will be able to really understand, what he had to go through.
Yeah.
And, do so, and he was, told,
Yeah.
basically, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, and just play baseball.
Yeah, no matter what gets, said at you, done to you, whatever, you keep your mouth shut and you just play, and that's what he did, and, yeah, he's paved the way for all African Americans and even, Latino players, since then, so... Yeah, everyone, owes that debt of gratitude to him, for doing that. So, but yeah, I think, second base, all time there. Third base.
I had Brooks Robinson.
I went Mike Schmidt.
That was a toss-up.
Yeah, so yeah, Mike Schmidt, 267 batting average, 548 home runs, 12-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, won the Gold Glove 10 times. I mean... Yeah, I went Mike Schmidt in that position. Brooks Robinson was not a bad choice.
I had him because he looked good in this photo that they had on the... Thought he looked great for his age that time. I liked his haircut.
All right. Whatever works.
Just liked his haircut.
All right. And shortstop?
There's a toss-up. I was between Jeter or Cal Ripken Jr. I went Cal Ripken Jr.
Mine was a toss-up between Honus Wagner and Cal Ripken Jr. So, yeah, I went, once again, old school with Honus Wagner.
You're going way back in some years.
Yeah, Honus Wagner had a lot going for him, but I went with Cal Ripken. 19-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, 2-time Gold Glove, and then played in 2,632 straight games, which will never, ever, ever be broken.
Yeah, that's
no
ridiculous.
one's ever going to come close to that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so with the way everyone gets off days now and constantly getting hurt, whatever, no one's coming close to that streak. I don't even think anyone has even gotten up to 1,000 straight games. So, yeah, that's never, ever, ever going to be touched. And then, granted, Cal Ripken Jr., he did, majority of his career was at shortstop, but he did move to third base in the latter part of his career, but I still put him as great a shortstop. Left fielder, what do you got there?
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds. Yeah, he didn't even come into my head.
No. Okay.
I went Ted Williams.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Ted Williams, 344 career batting average, last player to hit 400 in a season. 2,600 hits, 521 home runs, 19-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, 2-time Triple Crown winner, and that's with taking 4 years away from serving in World War II.
Damn.
Yeah, so give those 4 years, that he was away in World War II, his stats would have been even better.
Ridiculously.
Yeah. So yeah, me, Ted Williams.
Well, Barry Bonds. I just grew up watching him.
Grew up watching
Ish.
him. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the big issue
Big
with him is
steroid thing.
steroids, which, I've said before, to me, he was a great player, a Hall of Fame player before he took steroids.
He was with the Pirates.
Yeah, he just then saw with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire the attention they were getting, and so he decided to juice up so he can, get on that action. And to me, that ruined him.
Yeah, he
I
probably
liked
won't get in
him.
the hall now.
Yeah, probably not. I liked him before that, but did that and just kind of ruined everything, and then just kind of became a jerk about it. And
Yeah.
so but speaking of Barry Bonds, center fielder I have as Godfather.
Okay. Willie Mays?
Yep.
Stick.
Yeah, it was between Willie Mays and Ty Cobb, and I went Willie Mays. But yeah, I can't. 300 batting average, 3,200 hits, 660 home runs, 12-time Gold Glove, 2-time MVP. Hard to go against him. Not sure yet for center fielder. Trying to decipher your
I mean,
notes.
I'm trying to find it. I mean, good lord. Can't even read my chicken scratch.
Did you do a center fielder?
I have an OF. Hank Aaron?
OF's just outfielder, but Hank Aaron's actually right field.
Give me Griffey.
Griffey?
Give me Griffey. I grew up watching Ken Griffey Jr.
Like I said, it's
I love Ken Griffey Jr.
hard to go against. Obviously his career was plagued by injuries towards the latter part, so he never really fully got to what he was capable of. So everyone was kind of thinking he'd be the one that would challenge Hank Aaron's record for home runs, and had he stayed healthy, very well could have. But yeah, he
got hurt once he left the Mariners and went to the Reds.
Yeah, once he went to the Reds, it just injury after injury, and then with him, the steroids never once came up. Never.
He was just naturally gifted.
Yeah, and he wasn't hugely muscular or
He was a
anything.
lanky
He had
guy.
basically the same frame his entire career, except later in his career, you can tell he's getting a little bit fatter.
Yeah. Too many donuts.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of injuries do to us.
Too many donut curls.
So yeah, Ken Griffey, I'm not a bad choice there. Like I said, over 600 home runs. His defense was amazing, and he had just one of the sweetest swings you'll ever see. Just so effortless looking, and yeah, I grew up watching him. Great, fun player to watch.
I watched him when I liked the Mariners back in the day. He was a player, so.
Yeah, so yeah, fun player. Can't really go wrong there. Right fielder.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, there's
I got
Very-
the Babe.
very
Oh.
easy position right there. Hank Aaron was a right fielder, and
Mhm.
obviously all-time great player, but
It's the Babe.
yeah, it's hard to go against him. He redefined, the offense with the amount of home runs he was hitting. What he was doing at his time was unheard of. No one even came close to challenging what he was doing, and he did it while being fat and out of shape.
Yeah, apparently he could give me a run for my money in eating, I guess.
Oh god, yeah. You eat, smoke a cigar, and drink all at the same time, and yeah, he was.
So slugged out balls.
Yeah. And then pitcher kind of went a different direction here. I have a left-handed and a right-handed starting pitcher that I went with.
Oh, alright.
Left-handed went Sandy Koufax.
I was bouncing him around.
165 wins, 276 ERAs, 7-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young, pitched 4 no-hitters, and he didn't have that long of a career. He ended his career fairly early. I think it was only 11 years, retired when he was early 30s. So he could have had very many years after that, but he decided to hang it up. Didn't want to completely ruin his arm or anything, so yeah, that's my best left-handed pitcher. Randy Johnson was in the mix And because that's who I grew up watching. You know, I watched him a lot. And he was dominant. But I mean, yeah, Sandy Koufax. I mean, and pitching a perfect game in the World Series too. So, it's hard to go against.
I have Nolan Ryan.
See, a right-handed pitcher, I went Walter Johnson.
He was on there, but
417 wins, 217 ERA, 3,500 strikeouts. Still holds the record for 110 shutouts, which the way pitchers are now, that's never being touched either. So, and then my thought, kind of thought, about Cy Young. I mean, you have an award named after
I had him in there, but
if you really look at his stats, I mean, it's nothing that jumps out at you besides the wins. Obviously like the 550 wins or whatever. No one's gonna come even remotely close to that. But then that was a completely different time. He was pitching, and he pitched several days in a row. There were no relief pitchers. So I mean, you're going complete game every single time. It's kind of considered the dead ball era, so there wasn't as much offense. And then I don't know if it was the torque on their arms that back then weren't as great, because I mean now pitchers, you get to 100 pitches, like, oh my God, sound the alarm, get him out. It's only been 4 innings, don't care, get him out. And yeah, it's just the pitching situation nowadays where everyone's getting hurt, having to go for Tommy John, and then the stupid pitch count, and relievers come in and blow the lead or whatnot. So I mean, pitching nowadays is completely different. But I mean, his ERA and stuff wasn't it wasn't outstanding. I mean, he just had a heck of a lot of wins.
He was. I think I saw he was all time in a lot of negative stats too, like losses. That's kind of what steered me away from him.
Yeah, and that kind of goes with how often he pitched.
Yeah,
he pitched often, so he got the most wins, but he also has the most losses. So, and even the most losses, no one's ever going to touch, because no one's going to be allowed to be that bad for that long to get there. So,
right.
So unless they somehow change things around where they start pitching, pitchers, every day, nothing that he, wins or losses in is going to come close to touching.
I had a reliever too. I had Mariano Rivera for my reliever.
I did too.
I just threw him in there because.
Well, yeah, because then you think about pitchers, Mariano Rivera was an all-time great, pitcher. He was a closer though, so he wasn't a starter.
Right.
And now in today's game, a closer is hugely important. And you can think of other names maybe thrown in there: Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley, Trevor Hoffman. But to me, Mariano Rivera, he had basically one pitch. You knew the pitch was coming, and you still couldn't do nothing with it. So
it was literally when he took the mound for the Yankees, you're like, oh, the game's over.
Basically. There's only really one time I can really think that he didn't come through, and that was in the 2001 World Series, where he gave up the game-winning hit to Luis Gonzalez for the Diamondbacks. And it's really the only time. Every other time he was basically lights out. And one other aspect I threw in there: designated hitter, put David Ortiz.
You got Big Pappy.
Yep. Can't go anywhere else, I don't think, for designated hitter. You'll say Edgar Martinez, Frank Thomas. Nah, it's David Ortiz. To me, it's David. He will probably be the first person to go into the Hall of Fame as a designated hitter. And, I mean, he came in so clutch in so many instances. I mean, his stats
were World Series that the Red Sox won, he was pivotal.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, David Ortiz, greatest designated hitter. I don't really think there's that much question in my mind about it, too. So
I have the Big Pappy.
Yeah, and when we were doing this list, we're kind of thinking, how should we do it? Should we do it all-time grades, or should we do it by people that we've actually seen? Who have we seen play? And that would take a completely different aspect, because I haven't seen, with the exception of David Ortiz and Mariano Rivera, I didn't actually see any of these players play. Everyone else is before my time. Mike Schmidt Cal Ripken. I saw Cal Ripken. But Mike Schmidt, very latter part of his career is when I really started to recognize watching baseball.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. I was like, are we doing all time or players that we've actually seen?
Yeah, players that we've seen. Then my center fielder is going to be Griffey. My left fielder will probably be Barry Bonds. Then, second base is either going to be Roberto Alomar or Ryan Sandberg. Catcher, Ivan Rodriguez probably. First base, Frank Thomas. His first name that comes to my mind. Third base. Third base is escaping me right now. But yeah, then pitcher, probably right-handed Greg Maddux, left-hand Randy Johnson.
Yeah, I grew up watching Randy Johnson for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, so yeah, it takes a completely different turn when you think of it's okay who I've actually seen, and so yeah, that's kind of the direction I would go with it in baseball there.
So, U.S. fans, we hope that segment was okay, but once again, let us know in that comment box. We'd love to have you on the show. Eat your Krispy Kreme donuts.
Fine. That is just strictly opinion. You're gonna ask 20 different people, and they're gonna
have different, right?
Yeah. Cool. The only one I can really see, being like solidified is even then you can't really say Babe Ruth because they're going to be like, let's say, no, Hank Aaron.
Yep.
So, no. All right, so now we got our baseball. Now let's flip it over to football.
Okay. We got a QB.
To me, it was a toss-up.
Okay.
Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and Derek Carr.
Hey! I had Derek Carr in my combo too. It's okay.
So, yeah, no, Derek Carr does not even come close in that conversation. Joe Montana, Tom Brady.
It was literally just those two. Like, it was...
Yeah, see, like I said, you can put Dan Marino, Peyton Manning in the conversation.
You could even put Terry Bradshaw, some people might.
You could, yeah. To me, like, Peyton Manning, I always said he's the greatest regular season quarterback. When you factor in the postseason, he never really showed up. That diminished him greatly for me. Dan Marino, once again, great regular season quarterback. Never really able to shine in the postseason. So as a collective aspect of it, both great regular season and postseason, Joe Montana, Tom Brady is what it comes down to for me.
I feel like there's not really a wrong answer on these guys right now.
Really, there isn't. Tom Brady, 5 Super Bowl wins, 7 appearances. Joe Montana, 4. He was 4-0 in each in those, so...
They played great in the regular season and in the playoffs, too. In clutch moments, they both came through.
Yeah, I guess maybe I lean towards Tom Brady because he's starting to get really high up there in all of the different stat categories. So I maybe lean slightly towards Tom Brady.
I had Joe.
I know you're a 49ers fan, so that's expected.
But I don't want to be biased because the guy said we can't be biased on sports shows.
That
always happens on every sports show.
Who we're fans of. So I'm be biased to Cubs players, I'm biased to Packers players.
Even if
now, granted, I'm not going to say Brett Favre, or
right.
I guess you can maybe say Bart Starr. I can't realistically put Bart Starr in the greatest.
You could even make the argument for Aaron Rodgers when it's all said and done.
I can't.
No.
I really can't. No. Yeah, he's putting up fantastic numbers.
But if he'll keep it.
Yeah, and plus, he needs to win another championship at least.
They got to get him a dang secondary.
Yeah.
If they can get him a secondary, he'll be okay.
Yeah, they need a defense badly. So then, running back.
I got Barry Sanders.
I was going back and forth between Walter Payton and Barry Sanders.
I literally flipped the coin.
I went with Payton.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I said, once again, there's really not a wrong answer there.
No, not really.
Walter Payton, had the most yards rushing up until Emmitt Smith. A lot of people thought Barry Sanders would break it, but he retired so early.
Super early.
Yeah, and Lions are to blame for that.
Way to go, Detroit.
So or if Barry Sanders stayed in, he could have had basically probably every record, rushing record there is, and he'd have been hands down the greatest running back of all time. But I went with Walter, and like I said, there's really no wrong answer there either. And then now, what I was kind of surprised about, I never realized what position he actually was, but for fullback, best fullback.
Oh, you did a fullback? Oh,
Jim Brown.
Really?
He was actually listed as a fullback. Yeah. Because when I was doing my running backs, I thought Jim Brown, and I looked, he's like, no, he was actually listed as a fullback. Oh. Okay, well, I got my best fullback.
So he's the greatest fullback of all time. Then.
Yeah, to me, greatest fullback. Yeah, Jim Brown. Like I said, I did not. I always just assumed running back.
I thought he was a running back
listed
too.
as fullback.
Whoops.
Yeah. So then, wide receivers. To me, there's one in particular that stands out.
I did Rice at number 1.
Yeah.
Wide out.
To me, that's a given. No one else. No one else to me comes close to Jerry Rice's number 1.
No, just he was pretty much the complete package at wide out.
Yeah, to me, it's Jerry Rice, and then you can put several people at number 2.
It's a jumble.
Yeah, but no one comes close to me to Jerry Rice. And as far as number 2 goes, you can put Randy Moss. Possibly, I've heard some people put Calvin Johnson, Chris Carter, Terrell Owens.
We got Owens.
Little bit of an old school factor.
Boy.
Don Hudson.
Okay.
Wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers.
I see you. All right.
Kind of was the wide receiver before there was really wide receivers. Still holds a lot of records.
Right.
But, obviously, once again, not coming close to, none of his records, stats are going to come close to what they did now. But back then, it was a completely different league where passing was in its infancy. So it was all mainly just running. But, so he kind of was really kicked off in that position. So kind of throwing that name just out there as, consideration.
I had Terrell Owens because he is top 5 in all major receiving categories, and he's yet to make the Hall. And we had an episode on that far, far, far ago.
And that's all because of his attitude.
Yep.
That's all it is. All right, tight end.
Got Gonzalez.
I do too.
I was gonna think Witten, but I was like,
Shannon Sharp, was a
he
candidate.
was in there, but
That's me. Tony Gonzalez.
because he was an absolute animal at KC. He
Yeah.
was really good.
And then now, as far as, defense goes, we didn't, pick every specific linebacker spot. I just did a linebacker.
I got Buckus.
I went Lawrence Taylor.
See, I was balancing. I think he's one of the only defensive player to win MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to me, LT. Then defensive lineman.
I put Reggie White.
Yep. So I did too. Can't go against the
I
minister.
loved watching him play.
I loved watching him play too when he got to the Packers and helped bring home the championship.
I grew up watching him play on the Packers, not the Eagles.
Yep.
And I remember him giving Steve Young a lot of headaches when they would clash.
Still remember Super Bowl 31 against the Patriots.
Yep.
Getting towards the end of the game, they needed some stops, and Reggie White came up, sacked Drew Bledsoe twice.
Yep.
Seal the deal there. So, to me, it's... Yeah, and then he's all-time... To me, he's still the all-time sack leader that holds him, Michael Shannon's sack on Brett Favre to break the record.
Oh, yeah.
That was a load of crap there. That was given to him. But, sack's a sack, Cornerback.
I got Deion Sanders and Richard Sherman.
I just put Deion Sanders. I didn't put Richard Sherman.
Okay.
That had to kill you to put Richard
Yeah,
Sherman.
it did,
Kill
but,
you.
the guy's a stud, and at one point in his career, nobody threw to his side. Nobody.
Well, it wasn't that long
threw
ago
at
when
him.
the Packers played him, and Aaron Rodgers actively avoided
Yeah.
that side.
When in your life can you say you've seen any cornerback in the NFL where they literally don't throw to him?
Darrell Revis.
Yeah.
Revis Island.
Island.
Yeah. People just kind of forget because the past few years he's taken a huge step back. But
He
he was
was a stud in his
no
day.
one threw to his side.
Right.
So, to me, I went Deion Sanders. Safety,
I got Ronnie Lott.
I do too. You have 3 49ers on yours.
They're really great though. Sorry.
Yeah, I went Ronnie Lott
I
as
wasn't
well.
trying, but they're just ring bells.
And then, not really a position, but coach, I went Lombardi.
Lombardi.
Yeah.
And if you want to get technical, kickers Vinatieri.
Yeah, I'd go Vinatieri too.
If it's a clutch kick in the game, I want him.
He'll probably be the first place kicker to be in the Hall of Fame.
Probably.
So yeah, I mean, he won a couple of the Super Bowls for the
A
Patriots.
couple. It's debatable.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd go Vinatieri easily on that one. But yeah, Lombardi. I mean, you have some people now that might say Belichick, which it all depends on your view on him. Some people don't like him because they call him a cheater.
Right. They have that radar that over their head of the spy gate and then the deflate gate and
I'll give him credit where credit's due in this environment with free agency or whatever. He finds these random players and gets them to play hard and gets so much out of them.
somehow.
Yeah.
And they fit his system somehow.
And every year it's like you're expecting them, hey, who's going to challenge them for the Super Bowl is basically what it comes down to. It's every year. So
I think they're going to do it this year.
the system he has works in this day and age where no one really does what they do, and they're really they're the first dynasty since the Cowboys of the early '90s, and even they have surpassed what the Cowboys did and then some. So yeah, I mean it'd be hard to argue against that, but to me, Lombardi, the Super Bowl trophy is named after him, so that's
Yeah, and I mean, and when he was taking the Packers to the Promised Land, he ran that one play, the sweep,
Yep.
and you could not stop it because he ran it to absolute perfection.
And then, because with Sons Lombardi, everything had to be perfect. Practice not make perfect.
Yep.
Perfect practice makes perfect. So that's
Exactly.
everything about winning.
Yep.
If you're not trying to win, there's no point. And so, yeah. He instilled everything. So, to me, Lombardi is the greatest.
I mean, you look at all these all-time greats, even in baseball and then in football, there was a lot of some players in position where it was a juggle. There wasn't a right or wrong answer.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of different ways we could have gone with every single position, really. So
It just depends on the person. You ask somebody else, they probably have two completely different lists.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, but that's everything. Those are the players that I think would be it. We would love to hear what everyone else thinks. Who do you have as your best positions? Agree with our list, disagree with our list. You have different people in different spots. Comment below. Love to hear comments, regardless of what they are.
Yes, if you disagree, please post either way, if you agree or disagree.
Subscribe, like us on Facebook. Probably be doing maybe like an NBA and should we do an NHL one?
We should do a soccer one too, huh?
Yep.
Some Pele, Lionel Messi, David Beckham.
I would have to do massive research on that.
I was just kidding with that one.
I had no freaking clue on anything soccer. So maybe NBA, NHL.
We could do NHL. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So we'll get a show pretty soon doing that. Episodes coming up. Lots of free agency talk. Baseball's coming at its halfway point. Surprises. Who we think's realistically in. What the hell's wrong with the Cubs?
They still got time, though. I'm telling you, they're gonna
Still got
figure it
time,
out.
yeah.
I'm telling you, they'll figure it out. Don't
So,
worry.
yeah, those will be on. We have some upcoming episodes to talk about all of that. So once again, subscribe, like us on Facebook. It's time to go.
I'm hungry.
You